We have a 10-minute lag, and I'll try to make it up as we go along. So we start off now. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining in Club Excel session number 2. My name is Hassan. I'm the Learning and Development Manager, and we're using Club Excel. We've done our sound check, screen check, great. Just a little bit about what Club Excel is for those who are joining in. This is a bite-sized Excel training. It's tailored to both beginners and intermediate to a certain level. This is pragmatic learning. What it means is basically that you will get 1 or 2 things or 3 things or very limited amount of things that you can actually go and start using them for the next month. And then we'll see you again with another session after a month. So this basically tells you that, you know, you have taken that 1 thing, 2 things, and you started implementing it, starting applying it, and you've practiced it, so it becomes second nature. And not all the data is dumped on you on the same time, so not all the formulas and everything. And it's also recorded for later reference, so we'll put it up on YouTube for you to be able to see later on if you want to get reference later. So let's start off with today's session. Today we're going to discuss our top 5 formulas or functions that we use in Excel, and this is I've tried to select the ones which I felt were the most useful for the vast number of our population within the group. So the first one is sum, second Sumif, third one is the very famous Vlookup. The fourth one is concatenate. I see a lot of people using, wasting a lot of time on some things, which we'll talk about, and this can really help. And then the last one, I was gonna do if statements, but during my research, I just found out that we have something amazing and much more easier, which is Sumif. So we're gonna talk about that. So let's start off. If at this moment, please, if you could start off open up your example file that I sent you via email. Okay. Right. So I hope everybody's, I just got a question from Brisbane Spiritist Center. I hope you're listening to me now. You are able to hear me. Right. So let's start off. If you've opened the file, we will start off with sum. So I'll toggle between Excel now. I want you to see this. These are 5 sheets. I want you to please come on to the first sheet. Sum is a very simple and very popular sort of a function in Excel. Here, we'll just see an example. This is my data sample. I've taken month, product, and sales. Very simple. Month is up until August. Products, we have 3 different types of products: hoses, PT, and bearings. And then this is the sale. Now, I would like to know what is the total of this. Again, as I said earlier, this is for the beginners. So what I want to do is I want to add up all of this and in the gray area. So let's start off. I will just zoom in so you are able to see what I'm doing clearly. So what I'm going to do is every formula in Excel starts off with an equal to sign. So is equal to, I will put sum, and then I will start bracket open. Now, sum is the most simplest one. So the first number and then so on is what I need to select. So what I'll do is I'll select the first number. I'll put a colon. You can see here, I put a colon, and now I will put in the last number. Okay, so so I'll start off with D3. Again, let me go back into the formula. So we'll use the formula bar to type it this time around. So sorry, I'll switch off my email. Okay, so we'll start off with sum. The first number I'll put it is D3, D and 3. I'll put a colon, and the colon lets me take it to the entire thing. So D3 colon, and then we have D33. So you see, this is now all selected. I have till D33, and if I press enter, it'll sum up the entire thing. This is the function of it, sum function. It calculates adds up all of this vertically. It can also do it horizontally. Now, I don't want you to waste your time. So the best thing to do is, you see this button right here, auto sum, it adds automatically. So if I did not have this here, if I click here and I just do auto sum, it'll just sum and enter, it'll automatically do it. So I don't have to waste my time on and saving my time on that. So let's say again, just to see the application of this auto sum, I have this data and I have to auto sum it here. So it automatically selects the data, whichever way it feels that the numbers are, and the number is right here. So I need to click, select, enter. That is it. That is how you do sum. Okay, so let's move forward. This was sum. Now things are gonna get a little complicated from here onwards. So there are certain things and certain words that Excel uses that I would like to talk about before we go into things like Sumif and Vlookup and all of the others. Now, the Excel speaks about range, table array, criteria, logical test, lookup value, and all of these words. Now, Excel is trying to logically put these words into action, right? So what I've done is I'm going to give an analogy for you to be able to remember this and use it in any certain formula, however you want to use it. So let's think about Excel as a grocery store. So this is a huge grocery store with about 11, 12 unlimited number of aisles, and you have lost your keys. Now you must be wondering why I'm talking about grocery store and keys. I just want to make it into a story and make you understand what Excel is working in the background. So you have lost this set of keys. It has a leather maroon colored keychain, 2 keys. This is your car key, and this is your entire thing. So why I took that example is, you see, whenever Excel says range and table array, it basically means the entire supermarket. Okay, it will make sense to you when we get on to just hang in there with me. It'll make more sense when we get on to the examples. Whenever Excel says criteria or logical test, it basically means that how many keys were there, what is the color of the thing, do you have a photograph of it, etc. Right? So this is your car keychain, right? If Excel says what is the lookup value, again, this is the photograph of the keychain. This is what I'm searching for. Column index number, and sum range, if this occurs wherever the formula, it basically means which aisle did you see your keys, or you lost your keys in. So supermarket has a lot of aisles. Which aisle do you think your keys are in? And if true, if you find it, shout this, okay? Shout this, I found it, or something like that. And if you did not find it, shout this, okay? Still looking, or something like that. So now that you have understood the supermarket sort of an analogy, let's go into Sumifs. And I'll try to link it to the supermarket analogy, all right? So let's go back to Excel, and we will go into the second tab. Now, here we have month, products, country, and sale. Okay, so now we have 4 entries of January, 3 of Feb, and so on up until August. And then in January we were selling bearing hoses, PT bearings again, and this 3 were in AU, and the last one is in NZ. Now my question here, in sum is basically, if I was to say please add them up, it was simple. I will auto sum them and I'll get the answer. But this is not what I'm looking for. My query is very different. My keychain is very different. My query is all sales in Feb. So all sales in Feb, it's easy. You could have done, some here and added them up. But if your data is big, this is a smaller sample. If your data is big, we will use some if. So how do we do it? Let me just zoom in, and I will put an example. So I'll select this and I'll go to the formula bar. I'll say sum if bracket open. Now I've set up my formula. What does it say? Range. Range is what? The entire supermarket. the entire supermarket. So I'll select the entire supermarket, okay? These are aisles, the entire supermarket. And then it says criteria. Criteria is Feb. So I want Feb, okay? I can select any one of those Febs, yeah? And then that's it. So I don't want to put, some range is the last aisle that I saw the aisle, okay? So this is the aisle that I want to search in. This is the supermarket, this is what I want, and this is the aisle I want it in. And if I press enter, I will close the brackets. I press enter and it'll give me, sorry, I'll have to do it again. Sumif, bracket open, I want this to search in this supermarket. My criteria is this, and I want the sum out of this. And if you see, my answer is right here, 118,405. Now this is very simple. We can test it out. These are the three numbers. And if you see here, 118,405 is the sum. So here we go. We have the sum right here. Let's do it again. Here, we want all the sales of PT. PT, wherever PT is occurring, we want all of the sales right here. So there are many applications of this. Let's start off using Sumif. Sumif, bracket open. I want to search it now. My supermarket is going to start off with here because I want to keep wherever my sample is. So wherever, if February was here, I would have selected the entire thing, keeping February on the leftmost side. But because this is PT, I need to keep PT on the leftmost side of my entire supermarket. Okay, so PT right here. That's my criteria. See here, it is prompting me, what is your criteria? So my criteria is PT. Then I put a comma. Now it says, what is your sum range? Where do you want to add up? So my sum range, I select and drag the entire thing and press enter. When I do that, it's 187,359, which means it has picked up all these. Let me just manually add it for sanity check. And 187,359. Here you go, 187,359. So Sumif is basically giving you a condition that I want to add up. Let's say this is salesperson 1, salesperson 2, 3. I want to, and they're these months, so I want to add up all of their sales. You can do that. You can do products. You can do whatever. So basically, adds up different parts and gives you that answer. Okay. All right. So now, because we're working in a different way, can you please just there is an option of raising hands. If all of you can raise hands, those who think they're okay, they're doing okay, can you please raise your hand so I could know? Thank you, Andrew. Yep, awesome, beautiful. All right. Okay, done. Awesome. We still have a few. Okay. Yep. We're getting responses. Thank you for doing that. You can lower your hands now. Let's start off with our Vlookup. Okay. Now in Vlookup, there will be a few things. Again, we'll go back to the same example. The range, whenever you say the range, it means the entire supermarket. Criteria, how many and what the color. Sum range is on which aisle. Sorry. Yeah. So let's start off with Vlookup in the example. We'll go on to Vlookup, the sheet. Now here, I have given you an example. This is the row ID, the customer name, segments, city, sales, and then the profit. So what I'm basically telling you is I want to know the customer called Brian Hoffman, and I want to know his sales. Okay. Now, this is easy. I could have just searched Brian Hoffman here, right? He is, and I could have just said he is selling 90715. But if I want to know Irene and Steve, and they're all scattered, and let's assume this is the data of about 1,000 people, it will take me a lot more effort. I'll have to search by name and filter it out and blah, blah, blah. So what VLOOKUP is basically, but before we do that, the first thing that we need to do is we need to, because we're going to be searching, our key is Brian Hoffman, yeah? So our Brian Hoffman comes into B. So what we need to do, and this is very, very important, is we need to sort it in alphabetical order. Okay, very important. Otherwise, Excel does not work without this. So the key is in this aisle, we need to alphabetically arrange it. And then we will try to put in the formula. So here we go. Equals to sign to start a formula. We say we look up and bracket open. Now it says lookup value. Lookup value is here. This is what I want to look up. Table array is the supermarket. I want to look up here. Sorry, I'll just do it again. So we look up is this, comma, and then the supermarket here, comma, and then it says the column index number, which means what is the column that you want the response from, which is the column you want to search in. So column, we'll start off with this is our first column, not this one, okay? So column 1 is where the Brian's name is mentioned. So column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want the sales. So sales is 4, right? So we'll just put 4, and we will not put anything after that, 0. So here you go. Brian Hoffman, let's do a sanity check. Brian Hoffman selling 90715, 90715. Now, I could easily drag down this, but it will give me a wrong answer. Why? I will explain to you now. I dragged that. Now, this could give me a right answer or wrong answer. Why? Because if you notice, when I selected this, the first one, this was the entire range, which was the supermarket. But if I selected this, you see, this first one was missed out because as we go down, Excel is taking the formula down with it. So as if we were to, let's say, drag it further down, again, this would go to 2 areas, 2 stops down, 2 rows down, right? So for that, the best thing to do is, see, when you select the supermarket, which is in red color, so this is in red color, you will just press, you will put a $sign in front of B, in front of 3, in front of F, and in front of 52. What this is doing is basically locking everything, okay? The easiest way to do it is, let me just go back. The easiest way to do it is select B3, press F4, select F52, press F4. It'll automatically put the $sign and press enter. Now you have everything fixed. Now, if you drag it down and if you check it, it's always going to fix the supermarket area. So let's say, for example, if I have this person and if I was to put this example, right, it'll give me the answer. But had I not put in the $sign, let me just remove the $signs. And if I was to drag it, I wouldn't have gotten an answer. Why? Because the supermarket area was excluding Alejandro, right? So that's why we put in the $sign on each. And the best thing to do is F4. So we fixed our place. Okay, let's try it again. This time you try to do it yourself as well. We are now going to find out how much Harold Collinwood has made profit. We'll put an equals to sign. We look up, bracket open, and we will say, what is the lookup value? We want to find this, comma, table array is our supermarket. We want to find this key in this supermarket, comma, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th aisle, 5, comma, 0. 0 means if you find it, give me 5. If you don't find it, don't say anything. Okay. And there you go, minus 381. So let's see. Harold is minus 381 profit. Perfect. But if I was to use it, I was gonna do a F4 here and F4 here. So we've locked it and it will not move. And we can drag it down and we have the answer. Great. So that's Vlookup. Again, if I could ask you to please raise your hands and let me know. Awesome. So David has a question. Did you have to sort alphabetically first as it looks up all the cells anyway? Now, David, I did check it. And I think sometimes what happens is at the back end of it, it sometimes gives you the answer, but most times it gives you an A. Okay. So if let me just try it again, and I will put it back to what it was here. Right now, if I was to do this again, let me just try it once. Vlookup. I want to find Brian, and I want to find him here, and I want to get 5. It will still give it to me, right? But I tried it earlier, and sometimes it was giving me an NA. Okay, now this is again playing around the formatting of the cell, because I've already used it here. Maybe if I do it here, it will give me an NA, but it's best to take those precautions because you don't want to get a wrong answer, and you don't want to get caught up with, with something that you are reporting forward. Let me just try it here. Yeah, now it's working here. It wasn't working before. So the best thing I found out online was to put it in order. If you can find it otherwise and sanity check it, great. Otherwise, you don't have to. All right. So let's move forward. I hope I've answered your question. So now I think the supermarket is now making sense to you, right? VLOOKUP, table array, entire supermarket. You can put your hands down. Thank you very much. Lookup value, photograph, column index number, which aisle, if true, say this, otherwise say this. It's very, very simple. So you're basically finding where your keys are in the entire supermarket. That's what VLOOKUP is about. Okay. Ascending order, exact match, make sure fix the search area using F4 is very, very important. And now this is my favorite. I think I've seen a lot of people struggle with this, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll just say it, concatenate. Okay, but it's my favorite. So we go into concatenate, and here you have an actual data. So you have the first name, the surname, the group, right, bearing services, and then you have the serial name. Now my job is to report on a complete name. So I want a full name, not those broken up together. So what I'll do is I will put equals to sign, concatenate, bracket open. Now it says text1, text2, very, very simple. It just joins the two things up. So I will say text1 is this, comma, text2 is this. You can have more text as we go along, but I will close the brackets and enter. Now you see it's joined up Aaron Althoff here, but my problem is there's no space in the middle. So if I was to drag it, I was to simply, as you can see, this is a lot of data, and there you go. So all the names are there, but my problem is this is not in the right order because I need a space in the middle. So for the space in the middle, there's a trick to it. See, I will remove the second text. Let's start from the top. I will concatenate first text, comma. For the second one, I will just put inverted comma, space, inverted comma. So whatever is under the inverted commas in Excel, Excel considers it as actual. So space, comma, then I can put in Altdorf, D3, bracket closed, enter, and voila, you have Aaron Altdorf with a space. Really easy. And I can just drag it down and you have spaces. Easy peasy. Now, let's assume, okay, now our group is a little bit complicated. So we have a lot more different types of emails and other things. So let's assume, for example, everybody has the same email, okay? The idea is just to give you an understanding. So the email here is basically our first name dot second name at inenco.com.au. This is an example, yeah? So all our examples are going to be first name dot second name at inenco.com.au. And I don't have that email address right here, right? And I can create it. How do we do that? It's easy. Using concatenate, I will put in bracket open. I will put in the first text, comma. I need a dot, yeah? So I'll put inverted commas, dot, invert commas closed, comma. Then I will put in second name, comma. Then I will put in @inenco.com.au as text in inverted commas. And close the bracket. So you see, I have the first one, dot, the second one, and I want to put @ as well. @inenco.com.au. Done. Easy. Enter. Here we go. We have the email address. I don't have to spend too much time on working out where to get the email address from, and then I can just drag it and you have all the email addresses. Given, of course, that all of us have the same email. Oh, I misspelled Inenco, my bad. Okay. Anyway, you get the point. So, but again, you can go further. You can actually clean this up. You can remove the PLs, and if you can actually put in whatever you want, and you can get an answer. The idea is to make your jobs easier, simpler, better, faster. And this is one of my favorites in Excel, and it's called Concatenate. Okay. All right, so the question here is, how do we remove caps to lowercase? And Hanan has asked that. Thank you for asking that. It's very, very easy. What I'll do is I'll create a surname right here. I'll create another column and I will say surname. And the word to use is proper, okay? How do we do it? Equals to sign, proper, bracket open, this text, bracket closed, easy, done, and there you have it. So if I was to use this name, not this name, all I have to do is go back and see the D3 is in red, and I will just take the red and put it here, press enter, and now I have a proper form of an email address. Did that answer your question, Hanan? All right. So somebody's asked me to do it again, the first one. All right, I will be happy to do it. Now, what the basic idea is to join up a lot of text. You can join up as many text as strings of text as you like. I will remove all of this and I will tell you that to join first name and the surname, let's assume this in the proper form. So what I'll do is equals to sign concatenate, bracket open, the first text, comma, the second text, but we need a space in the middle. So before the second text, I put in inverted comma, space, inverted comma, and then comma. So this is my second thing which comes in, space, and then the third part is this. I press close the bracket, here you go. And then all I need to do is, because there is a gap, I cannot double click it, it will not go down. If I remove this gap, so now it's linked to the data, I can double click it and it goes down. Okay. All right. Time to raise hands if you're okay with it, please. Beautiful. Yes, David, we can use that. I'm trying to keep it simpler, but thank you for that. Yeah, we'll probably keep it for later. Thank you. So David has given us a better answer, but it's a little bit advanced level, intermediate to advanced level. So yeah, we'll just keep it this way, and perhaps come back to it later. Oh, okay. So Karen has asked me about um, proper. It's very, very simple. The question Hanan asked me was, this is surname. How do we make it into first name capital, first alphabet capital, and the rest small? So all I did was I came here. I added another column. I said this is a proper surname. So all I did was equals to sign the word proper. This is a function in Excel. Bracket open. I want this to convert into proper. And there you go. So A is capital, the rest are small, and all I do is drag it, double click, and it's down. Right, and if you have Akbar, how about if I have full name, date, and I want to separate this? Oh, beautiful. Full name, date, let me take an example right here. So you have the full name. Let me just create something for you. Insert. I will create an example. So basically what you're saying is, concatenate. I will use concatenate to create your question. This, comma, this, comma, and then you have March 23. Now, if, and this is a question. So if this is your question and you have to separate these two, there is another way to do it. And Akbar, I apologize. I cannot do this in this time. I will be happy to conduct this in the next session. Okay, so tune into the next session. This is a really good question, and there's a really, really simple answer to it, but it's a lengthy answer. So I don't want to waste everybody else's time because we're time bound. We've already given up 10 minutes to technology. So is it okay if I do it in the next session? And thank you very much. So yeah, this is absolutely possible. What I can do is, Akbar, I want you to search up on the internet, right and left. Okay, right, left, these formulas, just search it up and you will get your answer. And let's see if you have the answer by next time, but I'd be more than happy to take you through it. Great, everybody, let's move on. The last part. And this is some ifs. Now, if statements are really, really good. They have been used. Basically, it's condition after condition after condition. So if this is happening, then give me this. And you can put within that a lot of different conditions. But since 2017, Excel has created, sorry, I'll just come back to it. Excel has created a new function, which is some ifs with an S. So let's come on to this, please. Now here, this is my sample of my data, sales in June. Then the first instance is I want sales in June only. Then I want sales in June of PT only. Then I have three conditions. I want sales in June, power transmissions, and Australia only, and give me a sum here. So this is very simple. You don't have to use sum if here. You can use sum if, the one we studied the last time, our second formula for today. So range is the shopping market, the superstore. The criteria is I want June, and the sum range is where do I find it? What do I calculate? Sum, and press enter. So June, I have, here you go. You can test it. So June is 278, 278, 271. But when it comes down to two or more than two, actually 29 different conditions. Yes, 29. The beautiful thing that Excel has come up with is some ifs. Now, some ifs is some range. This is what I want calculated. This is the aisle. Criteria one is I want here to find this. Criteria two, I want this to be matching this, and that's it. Let's see if it works. It does. So we have June power transmissions 45313, which means that in June, the power transmission sales, these two and then this one, should be equal to 45313 and 45313. Okay, let's try the third one. Equals to Sumifs with an S, bracket open. This is what we need to add up. That's it, done. Now, criteria 1, criteria 2, criteria 3, and then so criteria range is the aisle. I want in this aisle, comma, I want this. Criteria 2 range, in this aisle, I want this. Criteria 3 range, in this aisle, I want this. And bracket closed, enter. Oh, okay. Wait, oh yeah, so my bad. Think I have not selected it properly. So last was this and then comma this. Okay, let me start from scratch. Sumifs, bracket open. I want to add at the end of it this part, done. Criteria 1 is this, and you need to find this. Criteria 2 is this, comma, this. Criteria 3 is this, comma, this, and bracket close, fingers crossed. And there you have it. So in June, in Australia, power transmission sales were 23251. Let's do a sanity check. In Australia, June, this, and we have 23251, 23251. Summits. You can actually have 29 different instances where you can do it. Let's do it together in this one. So here you have, I want sales in April. You don't have to use Sumifs. You can use Sumif, the singular. Range, I want it here. This is the supermarket. And I want to look for April. And I want to add up this. Bracket closed. Easy. April bearings. So April bearings, Sumifs. So more than 2 is Sumifs. Bracket open. This is what I want in the end added. Criteria 1 range. This is the criteria 1 range, and this is my criteria. This is the criteria 2 range, and this is my criteria 2. Enter, and you have it. Similarly, let's see you do it. I think you guys should try the third one and raise your hand. I'll give you 2 minutes. Raise your hand if you've done it. Let's see you guys do it. So while you're doing it, Neil, yes, there is a way to unconcatenate or split words in data. Actually, this seems to be a good question. So what I'll do is I'll note it down for you guys for the next time. Yes, you can do it. You can separate things. Easy. And again, as I said, right, function left, function center is middle is what you should be looking at, but I will explain it to you next time. So if you have done this part, only the third one, April bearings AU successfully, please raise your hand so I know you've done it. And if we reach, yep, good. We'll just wait for a few more people. Great. Looks like everybody has done it. You can lower your hands, please. Right. So let me just do the last one. It's a little bit of a curveball, so I'll do it. So my question is, I want sales of bearings in Australia which are greater than 20,000. Greater than 20,000. Okay. These are 4 different criteria. So I will say equals to sign Sumifs, bracket open. My sum range is this. comma. Now we come to criterias. First criteria is lying here and I want it to be this. Second criteria is lying here and I want it to be this. Third criteria is lying here and I want it to be this. But fourth criteria is lying here and I want it to be greater than 20,000. Because this is numbers, I can just plug it in and say, let's see, yep. So it has added all the sales of bearings in April in Australia, which is greater than 20,000. So April bearings, Australia, there are two, and one of them is 29,000, one of them is 11,000. So this is coming to 29,000 because 11,000 does not meet our criteria. So if, for example's sake, I was just gonna convert this into 21, watch, it's added up to 51,511 because now it's more than 20,000 and therefore it fills our criteria. So it adds up the two, 29,000 and 21,000 and gives you 51,511. Right, so if you've understood this one, the last one, please raise your hand. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've done ifs and now is the time for our shortcut of the month. So last time around our shortcut was F4. So F4 was using for formatting. It repeats the last function that we did. And this time around our shortcut of the month is F2. Now, why have I chosen this one? I'll explain to you. You know how you need to write, you're writing your name. So I'm writing my name and let's say I make a mistake. So I needed to write a capital D and now I made a mistake. So now I need to go here and you need to waste your time reaching out to your mouse and then clicking it and then coming here and then doing all the corrections. So the easiest way to do it is if you've written something, okay, I've misspelled my name. If you've written something, go back to it, press F2, it goes back to the edit of the cell. F2, edit of the cell. Similarly, I have formulas here. I want to correct the formula. So I want to say F2, it gives me the formula. Okay, similarly, I can change any text. I want to change it to, so I'm working on my keyboard. I'm not touching my mouse. Okay, so I want to change this into June. So F2, back, June. I want to change the formula, June, change of answer. There you go. So F2 saves you time. The time of you reaching out to your mouse, coming back on the screen and selecting, that's like a half, quarter of a second. And you do it like, let's say 10,000 times in a week. And that times how many of you, it'll save some time. So yeah, experts, I've watched experts, they tend to like to work on their keyboards more. Shortcuts makes them faster. Even gamers, they love to work on keyboards and not reach for the mouse. It saves them time. But yep, right. So that's it. So raise your hands, please, if you're with me. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Now let's go on to another thing that I want to share with you. This one really helps sometimes do it. It's wrap text. Wrap text is a function in Excel. It is, when you have, so let's say, you remember this one, the 20,000, it wasn't showing. Now, sometimes we have a lot of data and we have a lot of things. We can go back to concatenate and, we have some names which are going to be, coming out. So if let's say I go on to this name and if I put something here, see Ajit's name is gone. Similarly, let me use it here. If I put something here, now I can't see the entire email address. So the best thing to do is select the whole row. You see here, wrap text, you wrap it and it puts you the entire text in one cell and then you can adjust it. There are lots of ways to do it. You can double click here as well. But if you want, so let's say there is a story on one of the cells which is quite longer than the other cells, and you really do not want to increase the size of the column. And so what you do is you click here, you wrap text, and there you go. You can then adjust it to however length you want, and you can adjust the size. Okay, so that's wrap text. Great. So in closing, I think I'm on time. Just saving you 5 minutes. So we did some ifs, we did Vlookup, we did Concatenate, and we did some ifs. The repeat last action, sorry, F2 was not repeat last action. This was to edit the cell, and then wrap text was see the data in each cell. So what I'm going to do now, if you can bear with me, please, is everybody stay safe, practice social distancing. This is be positive, and yeah, do whatever you have. I mean, I look at it this way, that I'll have stories to tell after this, so good times are waiting on the other side. Thank you very much for your time, and you have been amazing.